All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? Park, we're good? Okay. Sorry I'm late. Had some technical difficulties. I had to have my son help me with some of the issues we had going on before I could go live. But hope everybody's having a happy New Year's. I had a great one. Pretty boring. I didn't do much. I just sat at home. I watched a shocker yesterday with Miami and Ohio State. Before that game, if you watched my video about a week ago, I kind of gave my early predictions on everything. I said that I thought Ohio State would win with ease. I think they were, I know they were the biggest point spread. It was like, what, I think at 1.9.5, 8.5 points, something crazy. But I thought there was no way that Miami at all would have had a chance in that game. But man, from start to finish, Miami just dominated both sides of the ball. Ohio State really had no answers. They got a little bit of momentum. You know, there before half, made the drive, field goal kicker misses a field goal. And then in the second half, you know, Ohio State had a few drives, but for the most part, Miami shut them out, man. I did not see Miami getting this far. I thought for sure it would be Ohio State that was going to win, but man, that's why you got to play the game, right? So you just never know these playoffs. You know, we've seen like Oklahoma, of course, who I'm a fan of, you know, blow a 17-point lead. And then last night, you know, Miami went up 14-0. They had that pick six. And it's showing all the fans. And I'm like, oh, don't get too excited. OU fans were in that same, you know, scenario against Alabama. Just, you know, a lot of game to play. So just kind of keep it, you know, be excited, but, you know, don't get too cocky or anything. But Miami was able to hold on. Great performance by them. Ohio State, very disappointing. They came into this season, you know, as this unbeatable team, and, you know, throughout the regular season, but with their schedule being pretty weak. I think there was a stretch of like 6 weeks straight where they played a team with like a losing record. That's horrendous. That's horrible. What are we doing? But, you know, when Ohio State finally really had to play somebody, Indiana and then Miami, they looked overmatched, and the physicality just wasn't there. So you know, with that, just shocked on that. Shocked. Could not believe that's what was going on with that game. But here we are today. We have Oregon. We have Texas Tech. Park, I agree. Yeah, I don't think anybody other than the Miami fans had Miami winning that game. Nobody. I wouldn't have thought that in a million years. But, you know, like I said, that's why you play the game. So, but here we are. If you're just now getting on, I had a little bit of technical difficulties, so I'm a little late. But first game of the day, you know, we have Oregon playing Tech. So far, Oregon's up 3-0. Tech kicking a field goal to tie and wide left. So in the second quarter with 10:53, we have Oregon up 3-0. Defensive game so far, which I think that's going to also be a trend from here on out. I think a lot of these games are going to be low scoring. You know, we have our teams here that are some of your best defenses in the country. I think you're going to see a lot of low-scoring games. Like the Alabama-Oklahoma score, I don't think you're going to see that again. But here we are, second quarter so far. Oregon up 3-0. They have the ball back there on the 35. Fumbled snap. Able to recover. Short pass for nothing. This Tech defense, they are excited, pumped up, ready to go. And I feel like, especially for Texas Tech, somewhat Oregon, but especially Texas Tech, each team hasn't seen a team like their opponent today. You know, with the physicality, the defense, just the overall package. So they're going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to make some adjustments throughout the game. So. All right. So y'all let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts so far in the playoffs? You know, we had our first round games a couple weeks ago. Last night we had our first quarters game. Great game. Surprised by the result. And then today, you know, we have our first game of the day with Oregon and Tech. Low scoring game so far. Defense. Oregon was able to get a field goal. Tech just missed a field goal a few minutes ago. Special teams, that's going to come into play, guys. You can't, you know, if you look back at the Oklahoma game, this game so far, especially last night with Ohio State, what is up with Ohio State and not having a kicker? Man, it cost them against Indiana, cost them last night against Miami. And then today, as we just seen, Texas Tech missing a field goal. What's going on with the kickers? Oklahoma's kicker, you know, he had made like 24 in a row, something crazy. And then he misses a couple that were important there against Alabama. Oh, 4th and 3, Oregon with the fake punt. Punter throws out a pass. They get a first down. A little bit of trickery. Let's go. I like it. Nice play by Oregon. Tech was not ready for that. So what are your guys' plans today? For me, I'm going to stream as long as I can. I'm hoping to stream all the games the rest of the day. We'll see. That's a long day. That's going to be a 9-10 hour day, depending on, you know, overtime and the results and what we have going on. But that's my plan, to sit here and, you know, enjoy college football. You know, there ain't many games left here in this season. Of course, you know, Oklahoma, they again choked and messed up their opportunity because they should be playing against Indiana today, but just weren't able to come through and weren't able to finish. So, but I hope everybody here had a happy New Year's. Everybody had a good time. Everybody's safe. Hope everybody had a great Christmas. I hope you guys got to see your family, your loved ones. And I wish everybody the best 2026. I hope it's the best year of your life so far. It's going to be a long day, so I had to get an energy drink. Coffee only goes so far. Starting off here with a Gorilla Mine. Pretty good stuff. May have a couple energy drinks throughout the day. We'll see. Y'all let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts so far on the playoffs? If you have a particular team, what do you think so far? What do you think of the outcomes from last night with Ohio State, Miami? What do you think is going to happen today with Oregon Tech, Ole Miss, Georgia, and then of course you have Bama and Indiana at the Rose Bowl? next at 3 p.m. Weather is for sure going to be a factor in that one. They were showing, if you're watching the game last night, they were showing Reese and them guys there in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. Conditions look horrible, horrible. So supposedly the weather, or they'll take the tarp off, and the weather is supposed to clear up. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Senior Cowboy, what's going on? They did. Senior Cowboy, you are correct. Exactly right. And when everybody started calling Oklahoma, Choklahoma, Broklahoma, it pissed me off. I'm like, man, what the hell, But as you see, I mean, they proved all the haters for Oklahoma, from the national media and to now. Yeah, they're proving us right, man, and I hate that. I hate that we blow a lead like that. We had no business losing that game, but I hope BB learned from it. I don't think it wasn't the setting. It wasn't that it was a playoff game. We were at home. We were up 17-0. Yeah, there ain't no way we should have blew that game. Unbelievable. Because if you would have told me, hey, the offense is going to give you 24 points, and in the second quarter you're going to be up 17-0, I would have said, okay, how much did we win by? Did it end up being a blowout? Because of our defense and our special teams. I felt like in that game, Senior Cowboy, our special teams was one of the best in the nation. Our defense, obviously, top 2-3 defense, depending on how you want to look at it. But I felt like going up to that game, our offense, it was like, hey, if our offense and John Mateer can give us 14 points, give us 2 offensive touchdowns with our defense and our special teams, we're going to be good. And that should get us all the way to another national title. But frustrating, man. Frustrating. See, okay. Defense is a lot better, for sure. Senior Cowboy, what are your thoughts on everybody that's hitting the portal? Do you think that we're going to be able, because I feel like we lost some of our depth on defense, for sure. So we're going to have to replace a few guys. One guy, we've had a lot of transfer portal entries, but I feel like for the most part, it's guys that were either hurt and couldn't get healthy, or they were below on the depth chart and they were never going to play. But the one guy that surprises me is Marcus Strong, because I feel like he was going to be able to play this upcoming year. Like, he was primed, ready to be a starter on that line. So I'm hoping it's like a David Stone situation. Hey, I'm going to enter the transfer portal. I need some more money, and then he comes back a few days later. That's what I hope we see with Marcus Strong. But if not, I'm not worried about the defense. The O-line may have some issues there with the O-line for sure. Guys that are in the portal, they couldn't stay healthy. We have a great young talent on the O-line, but we definitely got to get some portal pieces for sure. Yeah. See, I'm in agreement with you there, Senior Cowboy. Big losses, like, yesterday, the whole Michael Hawkins thing, that wasn't a surprise. Everybody knew that was coming. Arbuckle chose Mateer no matter what, which I didn't agree with. Looking back at it, and I said before the game, when it came to the Texas game, Mateer should not have played. He should have played Michael Hawkins. I felt like he was going to give us a better chance to win. And they were stubborn. They didn't do it. Mateer played. Obviously, you could tell he was hurt. But that was their guy, and there wasn't anything Michael Hawkins could do. And I hate to see him go. I wish Michael Hawkins the best. And I think he's going to be a stud wherever he goes. Obviously, his little brother went with him. So Yeah, that was one I was disappointed to see, but I think the writing was on the wall. So um, I am out on BB. So yeah, BB shouldn't be fired. I mean, going into this year, if I would have told you, hey man, we're going to go 10-2 in the regular season, every Sooner fan would have taken that. Period. End of story. We would have said, holy cow, how did that happen? Um, he doesn't need to be fired. I think it's just disappointment. I don't think it's that we lost against Bama in that first round playoff. I think it was how we lost. You can't have a 17-0 lead, man, against Bama at home in the playoffs with the atmosphere, by the way, was phenomenal. That was the best atmosphere I've seen at Oklahoma in a long, long time. You know, bringing out 50 Cent. The fans brought it. It was great. So I think it was just the way we lost with our defense that we had and our special teams. And we're at 17-0, and everything's going our way. Uh, just the way we fell apart in that whole Oklahoma, which pisses me off. But until we prove the national media haters and just the Sooner haters in general, I mean, that's what we're going to hear. I hate it, don't like it, but I mean, we got to prove them wrong, right? So disappointed on how the season ended. Sooner Cowboy, let me know what you think about this. Did you feel like the winner of the Bama Oklahoma game, the winner of that was like, so that was going to be the hardest matchup for each team. I felt like the winner of the OU Bama game against Indiana, I think Bama's going to win by at least 10 points. I don't think Indiana's ready for Bama. Alabama's healthy. I don't think Indiana has seen the physicality that Bama's going to bring. So I don't know about a score prediction. You know, I could see maybe, let me think. I'm going to go with Bama 24-10. I just think the physicality that Bama's going to bring, the size, the speed, everything, Indiana's not going to be ready for that. Yeah, I was watching the game last night, and that was, they brought that up a little bit about David Stone in Miami. Is he going to flirt with it? Probably. Is Miami trying to offer him a bigger payday? Sure. But I feel like Oklahoma's taking care of David Stone. They've given him everything he needs, everything he wants. Yeah. So obviously we don't know what's going to happen for sure, but I don't think David Stone's going to leave. I think Oklahoma's going to take care of him. But as Miami progresses in the playoffs, though, I think that's going to be more and more talked about. But I'd be shocked at this point, Sooner Cowboy. I'd be shocked, man, if David Stone leaves. He's in a great place with good coaching around him. Him and Jaden Jackson are going to play one more year, and then they're off to the NFL. So I feel like David Stone's in a good place, and I don't think you'll see him leave the Sooners. Okay, so Sooner Cowboy, you say they're bad teams, but at the time that we played Tennessee, we were supposed to have no chance in that game. That was supposed to be a hard matchup, and we shouldn't have won that game on paper going into that game. Auburn at the time, they were ranked. Michigan at the time, they were ranked. Missouri was ranked, but at that point late in the season, even though their quarterback came back, he wasn't 100%. So I look at it as at the end of the year, yeah, they were not that great. But I feel like at the time that we played each of those teams, they were good. It was going to be a tough situation, you know, having to go to Neyland Stadium. Of course, we had Missouri at home. We had Auburn at home, Michigan at home. Really? You think beating Bama at Bryant-Denny was a fluke? Oh, man, I don't think so. I felt like we dominated that game for the most part. Oh, wow. Okay. I think that. Why do you think we go 7-5, Sooner Cowboy? Um, I like the call that BB made taking over the defense. I think it was the best thing that he could have done. I agree with you. Ideally, is that what you want your head coach focusing on? No. Obviously, you want him to be able to focus on special teams, offense, all of it. But I felt like with our situation and where we were and the previous defensive coordinators that we had, a year ago, BV was the best choice for defensive coordinator. Was it too much for him? Maybe. I think he's still young at coaching, trying to figure everything out. I don't think he's going to give up calling the defense, obviously. I think for Arbuckle, too, on the offensive side of the ball, coming from what was the Pac-12 and Washington State and John Mateer, coming from that, playing in that weak finesse league, coming to the SEC, whole other animal. I think it was a learning process for Arbuckle and for Mateer this year. So I think going into next year, I think you're going to see a better run offense. Arbuckle is going to be more comfortable. He knows what he's going to see week in, week out with the defenses. So, yeah, man, 7-5. I mean, yeah, we got the turnovers there in Tuscaloosa. But with our defense, I mean, that's what we expect, right? So Center Cowboy in that game against Tuscaloosa, or against Bama there in Tuscaloosa earlier in the year in November, are you saying that Bama beat themselves and that we didn't beat Bama? Because if I look at it, it ain't like the turnovers were, the ball bounced wrong. Oh, he was hit. It wasn't. They weren't fluke turnovers. They were turnovers that were caused by the defense. So I think we won that game in Tuscaloosa because we played well. We did what we were supposed to. We caused turnovers. But then I feel like it's just the reverse. If you look at the stats in the first game against Bama, if you just look at the stats and the score, if you just looked at that paper, you'd say, okay, well, Bama won. How much did they win by? But then because of turnovers, that changed the whole thing, and OU was able to win. Now, coming into the playoff game here in Norman a couple of weeks ago, I feel like it was the exact opposite. At that point, if you look at the stats, Oklahoma beat Bama in just about everything. And on paper and looking at the stats, if that's all you looked at, you would have said, okay, how much did OU win by? But turnovers, man. Yeah, turnovers can kill momentum. They can kill a team. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exact same thing. It was weird. It was like the exact opposite. Definitely on the same page with you with that one. Agreed. Hey, Senator Cowboy, what were your thoughts? And for people here in the chat, what were your thoughts about last night? Man, I did not see that coming. I had Ohio State winning that game by double digits, and I didn't think it would be a game. I thought it would be a blowout. I did not see that result coming. Man, just watching that game, Miami dominated that game from start to finish, man. Crazy. The O-line got with the push that they got on Ohio State, causing sacks, putting pressure on Julian Sane. I think that's his name. Oh, man. I know at some point, maybe at half or right before half, they showed the stats, and Ohio State was like -8, -10 rushing yards. I knew that Miami had a good defense, and the offense was pretty legit, but I did not think they'd be able to pull it off against Ohio State. Man, I did not see that coming. I was really, really surprised. So at this point, you have Miami going to get the winner of Ole Miss and Georgia. I got Georgia. I think Georgia wins that game again by double digits, 10 points, maybe more. I just don't think with all the changes and everything that Ole Miss went through, they're not beating Georgia. I know they played earlier and it was a close game, and that's a game that Ole Miss should have won. And just like Oklahoma, Ole Miss blew that game. Ole Miss should have won that game earlier. They blew it. Agreed. Defense was way more legit than what I thought. Yeah, nobody gave them a chance. Not national media. The only people that gave them a chance was the Miami fans. Just hoping, which is what any team would do. Now, and so I think it's going to be Miami against Georgia. And before last night, I would have said, "Oh man, Georgia! If Miami somehow pulled off that upset against Ohio State, there ain't no way Georgia's going to lose that game." But Student Cowboy, you guys here and everybody here, let me know if it is Miami and Georgia in the semis. What do y'all think about that game with the physicality on both ends? The one thing I see from Miami that they have the big advantage on is the quarterback experience. Having Carson Beck back, of course, playing at Georgia, and all that experience that he's had being in the playoff games, winning a national championship, all that stuff that he did there at Georgia, that's probably the biggest advantage I think that Miami would have in that matchup. So, what is it going to be for? Yeah, man, Miami, man, they got a good defense. And I heard it last night with the commentators. The one thing that's going to hurt Miami from here on out is going to be depth. I want to say it was in the third quarter last night, and Miami had to call a timeout because Ruben Bain and the other guy that was causing havoc on that D line for Miami, they were gassed. And they were talking about how they don't have much depth. So that's one thing. If it's Georgia, if it's whoever, that could eventually catch up to them, just not having that depth. But man, it would be hard to pick against Miami, wouldn't it? So winning does matter for sure. Absolutely. Miami's going to come after David Stone. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's leaving. I just don't see it, man. He's in a good place. You got Todd Bates, you got BV. If they have another great year, him and Jaden Jackson, they're going to go to the pros. I don't know why you'd want to go to a whole nother situation, new coaches, new everything. Yeah. If it was me, Student Cowboy, I wouldn't do it. There ain't no way. I'm not leaving, man. I feel like they're in a good place. If I'm a high school recruit anywhere on the defense, Oklahoma is a place that I would definitely want to check out, if not commit to. I think BV and company, Todd Bates, all them, if you're a defensive player, why would you not want to come to Oklahoma? Are you guaranteed to win a national championship? No, nobody is. But to get the coaching and to get that development, you're going to go pro. It's going to happen. Unless for some reason you face a lot of injuries, like Gentry Williams, Student Cowboy, that's another one. He was one that hit the transfer portal. I'm not surprised by it. But again, he's a guy, he would be such a stud. He just can't stay healthy. He cannot stay healthy. And that's one thing I kind of wonder about with Oklahoma. I feel like we're one of the most injured teams last year. Now, this year, we weren't as bad as last year, but I feel like, man, what is going on? Is it the training staff? Is it the medical staff? Of course, we had all the drama with the receiver that went from here to LSU. I've gone blank. I can't think of his name. But there's been just a lot of drama around the medical staff at Oklahoma. So I feel like there has to be changes. There has to be some changes on the medical staff. Something's just not adding up. There's no way that we should have this many injuries with all these guys across the board. It doesn't make sense. That's one thing I hope that OU changes over this off season is getting a better medical staff in there. Nick Anderson, yeah, that's it, yeah. But then, not that it's funny, but I'm just like, man. And then he goes to LSU, played a few games, and then he's out, injured again. So, man, I don't know what happened to Nick Anderson, but I will always be thankful in that 2023 Texas game, for sure, when he made that catch in the end zone. So we were able to beat the Shorthorns. That's one play I will never forget. So thank you, Nick Anderson, for that, and I wish you the best in your future. 6 and 7? Oh, come on, Sooner Cowboy. Where'd you hear that? Where'd you hear, Coach, that Smitty is leaving? Man, if he does, that would be crazy. I haven't seen or heard anything about that, so I don't know about that. And then something else, I kind of wonder, is it if a player gets hurt and gets injured and the medical staff diagnoses them, takes care of them and says, hey, you got to take it easy. You got to take the workouts a little bit lighter. Is Coach Smitty just saying, no, you're here. You're going to work out. I don't care about the injury. I don't care about the recovery. Multiple OU insiders have said it. Man, I haven't seen that yet, but if that's true, man, Smitty's one of the best in the game. He's one of the best in the game, man. That would be disappointing. Agreed. Yeah, he doesn't like coming out into the light for sure. So if that is real and if that does happen here soon, who do you think OU would go after? Do we look at just some of the other country or some of the other programs in the country and try to just pay more money to bring in the best? That's what I would do. I would look at their workout program, look at their development, how many guys have gotten into the draft, everything. And I would just try to go get the best out there, pay them whatever they need, bring them in, kind of like Cam Coleman. Same thing with that. I did see where OU has set aside money if that one big receiver was at the transfer portal, which everybody knew was going to happen. So I've heard the starting price is $2 million on Cam Coleman. Did they say that on their last video? Man, I must have missed that. Yeah, Wow. Okay. Wow. That would be surprising. But if that is true, and if that's what does go down, I hope the guy that was under him is just as good, has learned all the tricks of the trade from Smitty, and can keep the thing going for Oklahoma. But still, across the board, the medical staff has to be looked at. Something's just not right, man. Something's just not right with this. Yeah, OU Insider page. I haven't paid for that. I did a couple years ago, but I just kind of wait, like you said, when they announce it to the public, or if Brandon or Parker, say it on one of their videos that they do. So on the game, Oregon, Texas Tech, Oregon up 6-0 right before halftime. Kind of what I figured. It's going to be a defensive game. Like I said earlier, both of these teams, they haven't seen a team like the one they're playing today on both sides. Physical game. Tech showing the physicality from their defense. Oregon, same. The one big mistake so far, Tech missing that field goal on special teams, man, and kickers. Kickers this year are just killing their team with these easy misses. Oregon trying to get in field goal range before halftime, try to go up 9-0, possibly 13-0. I agree, Senior Cowboy, with that. Oregon, yeah, overall, especially on the offensive side, yeah, way better than Tech. Dante Moore is going to be a stud. I know he's projected to go in the first round. He'd be a top 10 pick if he comes out, which I assume he is. I don't think he has any reason to stay. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Tech has a defense. I don't think they really have depth either. That's one thing I've heard throughout the season about Tech. Kind of like Miami. Their starters on defense are great, but they don't have any depth, and that's going to catch up to them. Yeah, across the board, Oregon's way more talented across the board, except for a few places on defense. On paper, Oregon's the better team. He does. Yeah, I don't know where they would go. I just hope whether if it's replacing Smitty or God, I hope they replace Joe John Finley. I don't know why he is there. He is at this point to me just stealing money from the Oklahoma program and the donors. Joe John needs to go. So does DeMarco Murray, I think. Joe John Finley hadn't done anything. He got that 1 5-star a couple years ago. That it ended up. I don't think it was Joe John. I can't think of his name. He was a big 5-star. Then he ended up going. I can't remember where he went. But just hearing the stories behind the scenes, like he wouldn't go to class. They had to baby him and like, hey, make sure you go to class. And at this level and at this point, you can't do that, man. I'm not here to baby you. You're a grown man. Take your butt to class. So, yeah, Joe John hadn't done anything. Like he's just taking up space. Loyal, yeah. Being too nice and too loyal. Yeah. See, that's crazy. Man, that guy, he has so much talent and just threw it away for whatever reason. Oh, man, that's sad to see, Sooner Cowboy. Oregon with the big catch down to the 35. Oregon's going to call the timeout. They'll have a couple of seconds left. Flag. Got a penalty. Is this going to knock Oregon out of field goal range? We'll see. Yeah, Center Cowboy, back to Joe John has to go for sure. And when it comes to DeMarco Murray, yeah, he can recruit, and that's great, but he can't develop. And he can't figure out the rotation, which is very, very disappointing. I just don't get it. Doesn't make any sense to me. I think I know in the past, a couple of years ago, like, well, was it Penn State or Ohio State? I think it was Penn State that tried to get him. We gave DeMarco more money, but man, I going into the next season, I hope we have a new running backs coach, a new tight ends coach. Do I think it's going to happen? At this point, no. I feel like if the move was going to be made, it would have already been done. Kind of my thoughts on it. So, the whole loyalty and being friendly, I feel like it's going to cost us, man. I think the best move would be bring in somebody that is developed, that has shown that has a proven winning track record. Bring them in, somebody with no Oklahoma ties. Maybe they have ties with the reason for recruiting purposes, but not to Oklahoma specifically. No alumni, no former players. I think that would be the best cause or the best thing that Oklahoma could do. Ooh, yeah, all the drama around Bill Bedenbaugh. Man, I don't know. After being able to get Fasusi and man, I've gone blank. Man, my memory is crap today. Fasusi and the other guy and what they have in the 27 class. Bill is definitely getting him better recruits. I think the injury bug has killed Oklahoma on the O-line, and I think it's killed Bill with trying to find the 5 guys that he can gel together that give Oklahoma the best opportunity to win. Yeah, Foje, that's who it was. I feel like Oklahoma's definitely young on the O-line, but what we have is phenomenal, and I think they have a bright future ahead of them. It's just keeping them healthy. That's the biggest thing. Can we keep them healthy? That's one thing that Bill struggled with. Like the O-line guys, man, they just play one game and they're out for the rest of the year. Or we bring in guys from the transfer portal that just they weren't good. They just weren't up to the level of where they need to be for us to be successful. So agreed. Agreed, Sooner Cowboy. Definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, he was horrible. But I feel like at that point we were desperate, man. We just needed bodies. Just needed bodies from that point. But I feel like Oklahoma, we're not in that situation no more. We have a good foundation. We have a strong nucleus, a lot of great talent. I feel like this year for Susi and Foje, they had a good year, I thought. I thought they played well considering they were just young, but thought it went really, really well for them. So I can see the hate that Bill's getting, but also, man, how many guys does he put in the NFL, Yeah, the whole injury thing across the board, that too. Yeah, Arbuckle and Bill Bedenbaugh, they need to get on the same page. They've got to get on the same page. I think some of it's scheme. Arbuckle, I hope, over the offseason that he's able to work with Bill, to work with all the other coaches and with the players that they have and the talent that they have, come together. Let's get a scheme together. Let's get a plan with the people that we have in place, ready to play, that will give us our best chance to win. And I don't feel like that's not what they did. I feel like Bill did what he wanted to do. Arbuckle did what he wanted to do, and it was going to be their way, and that's it. And so I feel like they just, man, at the end of the day, they have to work together as a team. It may not be what they want to run in an ideal, perfect world, but man, you got to work with what you have and try to make the best of it. So hopefully we see that because, man, Sooner Cowboy, you're not lying, man. Just watching Oklahoma not having a run game, that's just crazy. Like we've always been known for a run game, and just the last couple of years we can't do it. That's surprising to see. Agreed. Yeah, I would like to see us be more balanced, and I feel like we tried. Yeah, but like you said, the run, not being able to run block, the injuries killed us. Um, and then Mateer. Yeah, I wish that Arbuckle wasn't so stubborn when it came to Mateer. I wish they would have gave Michael Hawkins more of a chance, more opportunity. I think it definitely could have made a difference in the Texas game and even the Ole Miss game for sure. Just because he was fully healthy, and two, Michael Hawkins brought a different dynamic to the offense that he could have shown to the world with his running skill, his passing, um, and I think it would have been different, just a different look for the opponents, man. Like overall, like they would have had to plan differently. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Got the Rose Bowl. Hey, the rain has stopped, so that's good. I don't know if you guys watched the game last night, but they were cutting into Reese and Joey and Desmond, and the rain. They said it had been raining there all week long. They had the tarp down since like Tuesday. It's definitely cloudy and rainy, but not like what it was. But it's definitely not going to be ideal situation and conditions for the teams. So what do y'all think? Do you think where it's still wet, the field's going to be questionable? I feel like. Does that hurt Indiana more, or does that hurt Oklahoma more? I think it's going to favor Bama personally. I don't think Indiana's built to come in and have a physical run game and take it to Bama. Indiana's not built like that. I think Bama's built for if the conditions here were perfect or if it was like this. I don't feel like Indiana's built for this. And we saw that in the Penn State game. Indiana struggled. They shouldn't have won that game. Now, credit to them, they did. They found a way to win. But I feel like these conditions are definitely going to favor Bama for sure. Or the Oregon Tech game, Oregon up 6-0. I don't think it would be that low a scoring game. But yeah, I feel like Oregon's just too much for Tech for sure. I know, right? Like of course we're in the SEC, so I want to see the SEC be successful and win a championship. Um, but oh yeah, I'd be so pissed, man, if it was Bama after doing what we did and we blew that 17-0 lead at home and oh yeah. So at this point, man, I want an SEC team to win. So give me Georgia, give me Ole Miss, just not Bama. Come on, just not Bama. Anybody but Bama. Come on now. So I'm with you on that, man. And if it can't be the SEC, I don't know. The Bama's the one team that I don't want to see win. I don't. Just not them. But Miami, man, Miami's looking dangerous. I didn't expect that result last night, and so Miami's going to be a factor. If I had to guess, they're going to get Georgia in the semis. And a week ago, or even 2 days ago, I would have told you that Miami would have no chance against Georgia. Man, I don't know. Miami's playing with their hair on fire, man, across the board, both ways. They look dominant. So, man, I don't know what the point spread would be if it was Miami and Georgia, but man, that'd be a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Yeah, I agree. Oh, you should definitely be there playing Indiana. And just like Bama, I think OU would beat Indiana. I just don't think Indiana is built to play an SEC team. Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, it's just not going to happen, man. I just don't see it. All right. Second team, Georgia. Yeah. Yeah, but the teams that are left, man, I hope Georgia wins. One, I just want to see the SEC win for sure. But yeah, come on, man, just not Bama. Come on, Ole Miss or Georgia. Like, obviously today, one of them have to lose, but man, come on now. But I think if I had to pick right now, with the way everybody's playing, if it was Georgia Miami, I think Georgia. I still feel like Georgia's just going to be too much, and Georgia has depth. Miami would have obviously all the experience with Carson Beck. They would have the advantage there. The game would be in New Orleans at the Sugar Bowl, so Georgia would pack that stadium. I don't think Miami travels as well. I wouldn't think so, but I think that would be a hell of a game. But I think the winner of the Georgia game, if it was Georgia Miami, just looking at everything right now, if I had to pick with what I've seen so far, unfortunately, Sooners Cowboy, I think it's going to be Bama Georgia. That's what I think the final is going to be at this point. It's going to be Alabama and Georgia. I could be wrong. The winner of this Oregon Tech game, which looks like Oregon, I think Oregon's going to end up winning this game. They're going to pull it off. Tech just hadn't seen anything like this, and they don't have depth. And I know they said, well, Tech has all these great offensive stats. Yeah, but who'd they play? Don't tell me BYU. BYU's horrible. Get out of here with that. I don't want to hear that. Tech played nobody. So I think that's coming to light here. I think Oregon's just way too much. Oregon's going to end up winning this game. And with what we've seen so far, if Tech doesn't make major changes, Tech may get shut out. Texas Tech may get shut out from this thing. So yeah, Ole Miss. If this was Lane Kiffin's Ole Miss, obviously I feel like the Ole Miss Georgia game could be a toss-up. Who knows? I feel like that if that was a game, it would come down to a turnover. Who's going to make the first big mistake? But with all the drama and everything that happened at Ole Miss and Lane gone now to LSU, and I just don't see how Ole Miss is going to be able to hang with Georgia. I don't see it. I just don't see it, y'all. So if you think they can, please tell me why you think they can, that they have a chance to stay with Georgia. I just don't see it. They played earlier in the year. Great game. It's a game that Ole Miss should have won. They blew it. They blew that. But Georgia found a way to win. But in this matchup, obviously having time for Georgia especially, being off for over a month now. Yeah, well over a month now, or close to a month, whatever it is. They've had plenty of time to game plan, watch tape, see what worked, see what didn't work. I think Georgia's just going to be way too much today for Ole Miss. That was a great game, though, man. That first game between Ole Miss Georgia, man, that was a hell of a game. Hell of a game. Hope all y'all here. Hope y'all had a great Christmas and a great New Year's, and I hope all y'all have one of the best years yet here in 2026. So my game plan is to stream all 3 games today. I don't know if that's going to be possible. That's like a 9-10 hour day, but I'm going to try. Energy drinks and protein bars. That's going to be my game plan throughout the day, so we'll see how it goes. But guys, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go upstairs. Give me a little bit more to eat, and I will be back. right, y'all, I'm back. Just started the third quarter here in the Oregon-Texas Tech game. Oregon up 6-0. I just don't think Texas Tech is going to have an answer for Oregon, but we'll see what adjustments were made. Tech has the ball. Incomplete pass. Going to have third and long. Tech's just struggling. They had one good drive earlier in the quarter, and like we've seen in every college football game so far, they miss field goals, man. Special teams are killing all these games. Miss field goals and special teams. Unbelievable. Texas Tech back. Looking to throw, short pass. Fourth and long. Tech's going to have to punt. I don't think Tech has an answer. This could be a shutout, guys. What do y'all think? This could be a shutout. For y'all that are here, that maybe just popped on, my plan today is to live stream all three games. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be a long day. Oh, Oregon with a big run. So Oregon's going to start out with great special teams, or great field position to start their first drive of the third quarter. Yeah, I think if Oregon goes down here and they score a touchdown especially, game's over. There ain't no way, from what we've seen so far from Texas Tech in the offense, there ain't no way Tech's going to come back from that. Like this right here could end the game. Kind of like what Oklahoma did, huh? Oklahoma was up 17-10. And it was a third and long play, and Mateer broke away from the pressure. The defense rolled around, could have ran it for a first down, made the deep pass to X-Rob, and X-Rob drops it. That's the one that's going to haunt the players, the coaches, all the fans. Because if he catches that cleanly, we're definitely in field goal range. But if we can get that touchdown, we would have been up 24-10, and the game completely changes. So, coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? And I guess when you look at it, at the end of the year, everybody's going to be disappointed but one fan base. So, like last night, was I shocked by Ohio State, Miami in the result? Absolutely. But was I glad to see the Big Ten, who thinks they're just the greatest thing since sliced bread? Oh, look at our bowl record. Yeah, but if you look at who they played in those games, 3 or 4 of those bowl games, they played a group of 5 team. Of course, you should blow out that team. Like, what are we talking about? So it was good to see a Big Ten team lose, especially Ohio State. So there is going to be a new national champion this year. But it was good to see them kind of get knocked from their pedestal about how great they are. Oregon couldn't capitalize with a good field position. So 4th and 2. We going for it? We are going for it. Wow. On the 33. I guess they don't believe in their field goal kicker. Dante Moore back, looking to throw. 4th and 2. He's being chased. Looking to run to get the first down. It's not going to make it. Good defense by Texas Tech on that. None of the receivers could get open, and Dante Moore went down, and that looked odd. That was weird. The Texas Tech defense was able to stand up. Oregon being a little aggressive. Could have kicked the long field goal, but with the way the game is going, I probably would have went for it too because Texas Tech has not showed the ability to be able to move the ball at all. So, but third quarter, 12 minutes to go. Oregon still has a 6-0 lead. Texas Tech is going to get the ball back. So we'll see what happens. Y'all let me know in the comments, what do y'all think? What is your guys' predictions for the next 2 games of the day after this? We have the next game is going to be Alabama and Indiana in the Rose Bowl. The weather conditions are definitely going to play a factor. It's been raining there all week. They had a tarp down since Tuesday morning, guys. That's crazy. Trying to protect the field. So I think weather conditions are definitely going to play in that game. And then the night game, you have Ole Miss, Georgia. Of course, we've seen this game before, but with the change with Lane Kiffin going to LSU and all that, I just think at the end of the day, Ole Miss is not going to be able to hang with Georgia. I just don't see it. I'd be shocked if Ole Miss was to win that game. But I was shocked about last night's result too, so we'll see what happens. Hope everybody that's in here, hope you guys had a safe and happy New Year's. I wish all of y'all the best for 2026. Tech with the ball. Short run for maybe a yard gain. Man, this Oregon defense came to play today, y'all. Second and long. See if Tech can do something here with the ball. Oh. Pass incomplete. We got third and long for Texas Tech. Man, it just feels like everything that Texas Tech is showing, like Oregon's just waiting for it. It's like it's almost like Oregon knows what to play before it even happening, which that just shows the importance of being prepared. Oregon has had a long time to study and watch film on these guys, man, and it's showing. Oh, what a great turnover. Defender came in, got to the Tech quarterback, caused a fumble. Same guy picks it up and almost runs it in for a touchdown. Then he fumbles it himself. But Oregon's going to have the ball. First and goal, like a 3 or 4. Tech now with 3 turnovers. What a horrible day for Tech. They have no answer for this Oregon defense. What a play by number 80 for Oregon. Big man trying to score and just couldn't get there. Oregon's going to have it first and goal. Man, guys, if Oregon scores here, this game is going to be over. There ain't no way Tech's going to come back for this. Oregon scored 6-yard Russian touchdown, 12-0. This game is over. Looks like we're going to have Oregon awaiting the winner of, unfortunately, Alabama and Indiana. Tech has no answers at all today. And that's what everybody said. That was everybody's concern for Texas Tech. Who have they really played? Nobody. Big 12 is trash. I don't want to hear about BYU. BYU is garbage. Tech has played nobody, and it's showing. A Big 12 team struggling outside of the conference. We've seen that before, haven't we, OU fans? OU looks great and dominant in the Big 12, and then they play somebody outside the conference, and they have no answer or can't compete. We've seen that play out multiple times. I appreciate all y'all being in here, watching the game with me. It's going to be a long day. This is just the first of 3. So my goal is to hang out with y'all for the rest of the day. I'm a huge college football fan, and it's coming down to the end. The season's almost over. It's going to be a long off season. For Oklahoma and the rest of the teams that are sitting at home just watching, now we're looking at the transfer portal. People that are leaving. Who are we after? What's going to happen? For Oklahoma, are we going to get rid of Joe John Finley? Are we going to get rid of Bill Bedenbaugh? Are we going to get rid of, please, and I hope they do, DeMarco Murray? He has to go. DeMarco, Joe John, they have to go. Those are the 2 that I want to see be fired immediately, and I don't know why they're still employed at Oklahoma. I don't know what Oklahoma's doing. Like Senior Cowboy said here earlier, the loyalty, the being too nice, not being able to let go of players that played for you that have that OU tie. But for BV especially, this is what have you done for me? Are you winning or are you losing? Now, Oklahoma had a great season, especially with what has happened last year. It was a great, great season for Oklahoma, but just with the way we lost, people are frustrated. It's been the same issues with DeMarco Murray. Joe John Finley, the tight end coach, can't do anything. There's no development. And for DeMarco, he can recruit like crazy, but there's zero development. He has no idea what he's doing when it comes to the depth chart. It is injuries. None of it makes sense. None of it makes sense at all. It's just frustrating if you're an Oklahoma fan. Changes have to be made. We're going to have turnover when it comes to the players, but man, for Oklahoma, we got to get some changes on some of these coaches. They got to go. I know that, they have ties to Oklahoma and their former players and all that, but like I said earlier, if you're Oklahoma, let's bring in some coaches that have no ties to Oklahoma and just bring in a fresh perspective, not this same old, same old. So to me, if they don't make some coaching changes, I mean, yeah, we can do well in the portal, and that's great. But if the coaches don't change their ways, what's going to change? Is any of that going to get us to the next round of the playoffs? Or hell, with what's going on now, do you think next year's team can even get to the playoffs? I think we can. I think we have to figure out some of the coaching staff. I think we got to make some adjustments there. The medical staff. I feel like over the last couple of years, Oklahoma is one of the most injured teams by far. It's not even close. We've heard a lot of reports about the medical staff and misdiagnoses and just issues with players and the medical staff. So I hope they go in and take a good look at the medical staff and make some changes there too. Kind of just let's just start fresh. Let's start fresh with the medical staff, with some newer coaches. Just bring a different energy, to the program. Got 13-0 Oregon. 11 minutes to go in the third quarter. Rough day for Tech. Tech with 3 turnovers. Oregon just dominating on both sides of the ball. It's been a long, long day for Tech so far. They have no answers. Tech on their own 18. Second and short. Looks like it got to the first down marker. So we'll see. Can Tech put together a good drive, or are they just going to get in their own way and give Oregon another present to start the new year? Tech with a short run out to the 20, 2nd and 8. Swing pass, horrible. Bad throw, dropped. So now we got 2nd and 10, 9:51 to go in the third quarter. If you guys that are in here, make sure you guys like and subscribe while you're here. Make sure you comment. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen. Not just in this game, just kind of what are your thoughts overall of what you've seen so far in the college football playoffs? Moving forward, what do you think is going to happen? Who's your pick for the championship game? Earlier, I said, with what I've seen so far as of now, if I had to pick, I'm taking Bama and Georgia to be the national title matchup here in a couple weeks. That's what I think is going to happen. It wouldn't hurt my heart for sure. Tired of the Big Ten talking all their mess, talking all their crap, how they're the best ever, and so it's going to be refreshing to see somebody from the Big Ten hopefully not win it. Oregon looks good today, but I don't think they're going to be able to beat Bama. And even if somehow if Indiana wins, we watched Indiana beat Oregon at their place earlier in the year. So I just don't think you're going to see a Big Ten team get it done this year. I think the SEC is going to take back what is rightfully theirs. And that's where I think you're going to see the national title winner come from, will be from the SEC conference. Being an OU fan, watching all these games, of course, I want the SEC to win. Oh, that should have been the 4th turnover. Tech with a deep pass into double coverage. Should have been picked. Defender dropped it. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for Texas Tech. Yeah, that safety for Oregon had it and just dropped it. That should be the 4th turnover of the day. If you're just tuning in, 13-0. Oregon, 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tech with a lot of mistakes, 3 turnovers so far. That should have been 4 right there. Tech just really doesn't have an answer. Kind of like last night's game, Ohio State did not have an answer for Miami. This is kind of the same scenario with this game here. Oregon up 13-0. At one point in the game last night, Miami was up 14-0. So unless Texas Tech just makes some major adjustments and Oregon starts to get gassed or make some mistakes, I just don't see any way for Texas Tech to come back from this at all. Just don't see it. Too many commercials, guys. Way too many commercials. So what is your guys' plans today? Are you guys gonna watch football all day like me? That's kind of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna live stream as long as I can. See how I feel. I got my energy drinks and I got my snacks ready to go, so we'll see how this goes. Oh. So for the games the rest of the day, it's kind of taking a quick look at it, my thoughts and my prediction. They showed the Rose Bowl not too long ago, and the conditions are definitely better than last night. I still think those conditions are going to come into play. I think that favors Alabama. I think Indiana. I just don't see how Indiana's going to do this. I just don't see it, guys. I thought the winner of the OU Bama game would come in, and they were going to beat Indiana. No matter who won that first game. I think Indiana has looked impressive. You saw the win against, at the time, the unbeatable Ohio State, and that's just not the case anymore. Not the case at all. Ohio State did not look good, so how good really was that win a couple weeks ago? Because it looks like to me Ohio State was just way overrated, and they weren't as good as everybody thought. So you put pressure on Ohio State, and that quarterback being young just doesn't know what to do. But my prediction for the Indiana-Bama game, even if the conditions were perfect, I had Bama winning by 10 points. But with these conditions, I think that kind of pulls into Bama's favor. I'm going to say Alabama 24-7. I'm going to go 24-7 Bama. I don't think it'll be a close game. I think Bama's had time to recover. And I know even since they played Oklahoma, Bama's even gotten more healthier. I think it's going to be an easy game for Bama there in the Rose Bowl. And I think we're going to see a Oregon-Alabama matchup in the semis. And then the last game of the day, you have Ole Miss and Georgia. Of course, you had all the drama surrounding Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin and going to LSU and all that drama and nonsense and chaos. That was pure chaos. But if it was Lane Kiffin's Ole Miss playing Georgia again, I would say it could be a toss-up, and who knows what might happen with that. But with all the changes to the staff, I just don't see how Ole Miss can hang with Georgia. Unless Georgia comes out like this, like Texas Tech is doing, and plays horrible and has mistakes and turnovers and can't get out of their own way, that's the only way that I see Ole Miss doing anything and being able to hang with Georgia. I think Georgia's going to get the victory. And so I think for your semi-matchups, the semifinals, you're going to have Oregon, Bama, and then you're going to have Georgia and surprisingly Miami. Man, I would not have picked Miami getting to the semis in a million years. I did not see that coming. Crazy. Did not see that coming at all. 6:34 to go in the third quarter. Oregon up 13-0. I think we'll just see Oregon here try to run the ball, use up more clock, shorten the game, get out of here and move on. Second down. Oregon running the ball again. Smart. Game management. Smart football. All right, third and short for Oregon. Midfield. Fake handoff to the running back. Dante Moore going to run it himself. Get the first down. Yeah, at this point, if I'm Oregon, I am just rinse and repeat right here. Run the ball as much as I can. Use up clock. Take 3 plays to get a first down. Use the clock to your advantage. At least get a field goal out of this. And then really, really, really put all the pressure on Texas Tech. First down and 10, handoff to the running back. Gets a couple of yards. Just going to check on something real quick. Another run by Dante Moore on 2nd and 8. Gets about 3 or 4 yards. It's going to be third and short for the Oregon Ducks. Third quarter, 4 minutes to go. They're up 13-0. Texas Tech just can't get out of their own way. I think this is going to be a shutout, y'all. I think it's going to be a shutout. Be an impressive win for Oregon. Coming into this game, both of these teams had top 5 offenses, and Tech has dominated in a weak Big 12. But as you can see, when they really play somebody, Tech does not have the depth, and they just don't have the answer. Don't have the answers to be this successful. Kind of like Oklahoma, whenever they were in the Big 12, running the Big 12, dominating. They play somebody outside the conference. They can't compete. They don't know what to do. And they get exposed real quick. That's one thing that Oklahoma moving to the SEC, they've had to learn the hard way. 4th and 2. Surprising Oregon's going for it. I may have punted the ball right here, but 4th and 2. Oh, there you go. First mistake for Oregon. Dante Moore throws an interception. And Tech's going to have it almost at midfield. I don't know why we didn't punt the ball there, Oregon. Pin Tech deep. They've shown that they can do nothing offensively all day. I feel like that's a dumb move. Dumb move by Oregon right there. They should have punted the ball. Oregon getting a little greedy. The defender got right in front of the receiver there. Got the pick. Dumb play call by the Oregon coach there. I don't know what we're doing. Punt the ball. Be smart. Pin Tech there and let your defense work. Could this be the momentum change that Tech needed? They've had 3 turnovers all day today. They can't get out of their own way. They got a gift here from Oregon, which was a stupid play call by the coach, but it is what it is. could this be the answer that Tech needed to get back into the game? 13-0. This game could have been way worse. The score should be more than this. But, here we are, and Tech has looked horrible all game long. And Oregon being too aggressive. And Dante Moore, I don't know what he saw there. I don't know if he just didn't see the defender. Defender gets right in front of the receiver, picks it off. And Tech is going to have it at midfield with good field position. So we'll see if they can go down, put some points on the board, and try to get back in this game. We'll see what happens here. Y'all let me know in the comments, what are your predictions for the next two games of the day between Bama, Indiana, and then Ole Miss, Georgia. Y'all tell me your score predictions. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. And if you're new here, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I'm a channel that does a lot of Oklahoma content. I'm a huge OU fan from Oklahoma. Sooner born, sooner bred. When I die, I'll be sooner dead. I like watching all the sports across the board. So we'll go from football. I may do some basketball. I'm not sure. But definitely softball. We'll see if Petty Gassop can get back into the swing of things and start another run of national titles at Oklahoma. Because they'll be starting at the end of next month. So excited to see the 2026 Oklahoma Sooners in softball and what they're going to be about. They bring back a lot of production. So they got to be top 3, top 2 when the rankings come out for that. Got the game back on. We got Oregon up 13-0. They just had a huge mistake and Dante Moore threw a interception on 4th and 2. Where Oregon should have punted the ball. Tech has it out to midfield. They try to run on first down, and Oregon's there to greet the running back for a run of nothing. So it's going to be 2nd and long again for Texas Tech at around midfield. Looks like Tech just jumped. Going to be a 5-yard penalty. Tech cannot get out of their own way. Oh, man. False start on Texas Tech. And if you're the coaches, you've got to be frustrated on this. Mistake after mistake by Texas Tech, just cannot get out of their own way. For this season, yards per game, Texas Tech, 480 is what they average. They only have 141 yards, guys. And they average over 40 points a game, and of course, they have nothing. Texas Tech is being exposed for what they don't have, which is what everybody said. Tech, you look great against the weak Big 12, but what are you going to do when you actually play somebody that has equal or more talent like you? What are you going to do? Tech is being exposed just like OU has been when they were in the Big 12. Tech with a good play right there. It's going to be 3rd and short. Can Texas Tech find a way to get a first down and move the chains? Try to get back in this game. 3rd and 3. It looks like the refs aren't going to give it to him. Looks like a first down for Tech. Yeah. Can Tech capitalize on the Oregon mistake? Are we stopping the ball here? Are we having a review? We are. Yeah, it was really close. Really, really close on that. We'll see where they spotted that. I thought the ref gave him a good spot. I thought he was short initially, Showing the replay. Yeah, to me, he looks short, but we'll see. Last night, a similar play happened against in the Miami Ohio State game. Carson Beck ran it on a third down. I thought he easily got it. They said it was a first down, and then they went to review and said, no, he was a half yard short. Horrible call. So I hear they said it was a first down, but are they going to say that he's short? No, first down. Call was upheld. $1:45 to go. Tech 1st and 10. Looking to put points on the board for the first time today. Short pass. Oregon defense is right there. Maybe got a yard. 2nd and long. Third and 2. Tech with a run gets the first down. Now, if Tech made some adjustments here and finally woke up and they don't get on their own way, if they can get a touchdown here, 13-7, I mean, they're right back in the game, which is crazy to think because Oregon has dominated all day long. It's just crazy how one turnover can change the momentum of a game. Tech back looking to go deep. Throws it. Good throw. Texas Tech down to the 10-yard line. Big pass play. And Tech's back in business here. Going to the end of the third quarter. 1st and goal for Tech. The O-line for Tech was able to hold up and block just enough to get that throw off. So here we go. Surprisingly, Oregon up 13-0. Tech looking to drive. Put up some points on the board, but if they can score a touchdown right here, 13-7, they're right back in the game, which is crazy because they played so horrible. But that just goes to show you how much a turnover can change things and change the momentum of a game. Crazy, crazy. Man, we might have us a really good fourth quarter, especially if Tech can get a touchdown right here. Wow. Just looking at a few things, guys. Waiting to get past all these commercials so we can get to the fourth quarter, and hopefully we have a great finish to the game. Interviewing Dan Lanning as we get here to the fourth quarter. Tech first and goal on the 9-yard line. Can Texas Tech respond? Hand off to the running back. Oregon's right there. Back to the line of scrimmage. Second goal, Texas Tech. Tech again, try to run. Not going to happen. Third and long. Tech actually lost yards on that. Third and goal. Texas Tech is going to have to, in fact, they're going to have to go for it. They're going to have to go for it here. Third and goal, Tech back looking. Throw to the end zone. Picked again. Tech with their fourth turnover. This game is definitely over now. Oh, what a killer for Texas Tech. 4 turnovers. They were obviously in field goal range there. Could have got some points, but oh, man. I get it, the quarterback trying to be aggressive and make a throw. Receiver was double covered and right to the Oregon defender. What a killer for Texas Tech. So after all that momentum, and the defense getting them a turnover, Tech again cannot get out of their own way. Another interception, 4th turnover of the day for Texas Tech. Oregon starting out on their own 20, 13:45 to go in the game. Handoff to the running back, about 4 yards. Oregon is looking here to keep moving the chains and run out the clock at this point. Have third down for Oregon, 3rd and 3, 12:50 to go in the game. I look for Oregon to run the ball here. Keep running that clock. Snap back, Dante Moore looking. Going to try to run for the first down. Tech's waiting for him. Oregon can't capitalize here. And they're going to have to punt the ball and give it right back to Texas Tech. So what looked like an absolute killer of a turnover there in the end zone. The Tech defense rose up, got a 3 and out. Tech's going to get the ball right back. Can Texas Tech find a way to get a drive and put some points on the board and try to get back into this game? Fourth and 1 on the punt. We got flags down. We'll see what the penalty is. See what the flag is here with 11.5 to go in the fourth quarter. Oregon up 13-0. Offsides on Texas Tech on the punt. Tech gives Oregon another gift here. Wow. Texas Tech, man, what are we doing? They cannot get out of their own way. First and 10, Oregon, 11.5 minutes to go in the game. Wow. Oregon handoff to the running back for a couple yards. Going to have 2nd and 7 for the Oregon Ducks. Just looking to get first downs, move the chains, and keep this clock running. Second and 7. Hand off to the running back. He gets about 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and short for Oregon. 10:40 to go in the game. Teams with first round buys are 0-5. Fixing to be 0-6. Man, so y'all let me know in the comments if you're, man, since this new format started, teams in the top 4 getting that first round bye, they all have lost. That's a crazy stat. I never thought we would see something like that. So there's been a lot of talking questions around this. You know, having this long layoff, does it hurt your team? And in my opinion, we should start the season earlier, not have so many weeks, not such a wait in between games. After the conference championship week, that next game or that next week, you're starting the first round of the playoffs. They've got to change this up for the college football playoffs. First down and 10, Oregon. Morris pressure, just runs to get a couple yards. 2nd down for Oregon, 2nd and 7. 9:15 to go in the game. Got 3rd and 7 for Oregon, up 13-0. It's going to be 4th and short. Looks like Oregon is definitely in field goal range. So unless they do not have a kicker or don't have any faith in him, Oregon should be going for a field goal. Oregon has an injured player down. So we have 4th and 2. Oregon has the ball up 13-0, 8 minutes to go in the game. They can get a field goal here, then it becomes a 3-possession game. Makes it just about impossible for Tech to come back from. All right, we got the game back on. Texas Tech band and crowd trying to get Tech back into the game here. Keep them motivated, see what we can do. Oregon going for the 43-yard attempt. If he can get this, makes it a 3-possession game. Kick is up. Kick is good. Oregon is now up 16-0. 7:53 to go in the game. Looks like we might have our first shutout of this year's playoffs. Could be. Tech going to get the ball back here, see if they can find any answers. See if they have any kind of life left. Or are they just mentally frustrated and are they going to shut down? Let's see what happens here. What a beautiful day there in Miami. Sunny and beautiful. I'm up here in the St. Louis area. Definitely don't have that kind of weather. Wish we did. It's going to be a touchback. Tech going to get the ball on their own 25, and we'll see if they can respond. Let's see what happens. Looks like the weather has improved. There for the Rose Bowl. Cloudy, but not raining. So we'll see how well that field held up. Texas Tech here with the ball up 16, or I'm sorry, Oregon up 16-0. Tech with the ball trying to show any kind of life and put some points on the board. Quarterback pressured, throws it incomplete. Going to have 2nd and 10 for Texas Tech. It's been a rough day for Tech. 4 turnovers. Man, it's looked rough. Tech has just not been, they have not been able to get out of their own way. Looks like we have some flags here on the field. If you're new here, I appreciate y'all being here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, as I do a lot of content with Oklahoma for multiple sports, football, softball. I might do some basketball. We'll see. I don't know, but for sure I'm going to be doing football and softball. So if you're an OU fan, you're in the right place. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. I'm just a guy from Oklahoma. I'm a huge fan of the Oklahoma Sooners, Sooner born, Sooner bred. And I love just watching sports. I'm a fan of sports, fan of Oklahoma. Just love the game. And I'm also a military vet. So I do try to show love to the military community for sure. And for all those guys that serve our country and have sacrificed a lot for us to be where we are today. So we have 4th and 5, 7 minutes to go. Tech having to go for it from their own 30. Quarterback back, pressured, sacked. And Oregon's going to have the ball already in field goal range. What a performance by the Oregon Ducks. Quarterback there wasn't even able to throw it or even throw it away to even have to give a possible opportunity to his receiver. This Tech O-line just does not have an answer for this Oregon defensive line. A lot like what we saw last night in the Ohio State-Miami game. 6:53 to go. Oregon's going to have the ball already in field goal range at 16-0. And it's looking like we're going to have our first shutout of this year's college football playoffs. For y'all that are here, my plan today is to do a live stream from now and do the next 2 games. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be a long day. But I got my caffeine here and some protein bars to help me get me through. So we'll see how this goes. But that is my plan. I want to thank all of you and appreciate, I should say thank you, and I appreciate all of you being here with me. It's going to be a great day for any college football fan, even if your team, like mine, Oklahoma, has been knocked out or didn't even make it. But just being a sports fan in general, being a college football fan in general, any day that there's college football to watch, it's a good day. It's a good day. Y'all let me know in the comments. Are you surprised by this outcome? I thought Oregon would win by double digits. I didn't think it would be a shutout. I didn't see Tech having 4 turnovers. They just cannot get out of their own way. But I did not see this kind of performance coming from Oregon. So Oregon's going to win here. They're going to await the winner of Indiana, Alabama. I think Bama's going to win that game for sure. I just don't think Indiana's ready for a team like Bama. They're not ready for the physicality, the size, the strength. Don't think Indiana's built like that. Yeah, they had a good win earlier against Oregon. Impressive win. Then they beat Ohio State, who looked like on paper they were the most dominant team. They were killing people. But whenever you have a weak schedule, and I want to say there was like a 6-week stretch during the regular season for Ohio State where they played teams, or every opponent had a losing record. So, of course, you're going to look good. Like, what are we talking about? You should look good whenever you're playing crappy teams. So, Ohio State got exposed against Indiana. They got exposed last night. And I think they're showing Ty Simpson in Alabama. Ugh, Alabama. I just don't think Indiana's going to have any answers for Alabama. I think Bama wins by double digits, and they will have a matchup against Oregon here in about a week. So we have 6:53 to go, 1st and 10. Oregon just got the turnover on downs. Just looking to maybe move the chains, try to get some points, but the main thing is just run the clock, keep the clock going. I would assume that we're going to see Oregon run the ball 3 times. If they get the first down and get a touchdown, great, but if not, main thing is just run the clock. Don't give up any turnovers. And get out of here with the victory and move on. Going to have 2nd and 9, 6:20 to go. Oregon using up all the clock before snapping. Hand off to the running back, couple yards. Could be 3rd and long. From the Tech 24. So Oregon's already in field goal range here. Use up another 40 seconds. By the time they kick a field goal, we're going to be under 5 minutes to go. Main thing here, let's just not have a turnover. Don't turn over the ball, and they're going to be fine. Fourth down, Oregon's going to be kicking the field goal. They'll be getting the kickoff here with under 5 minutes. Should make it 19-0 here. Game is already over, but make it look a little bit more impressive with another field goal here for Oregon. 36-yard field goal. Kick is up. No good. Looked good at the beginning, and then it went wide left. Again, field goal kickers. What are we doing? Holy cow. Every playoff game, man, miss field goals. What are we doing? That's crazy. If you're an OU fan, I know that our kicker missed a couple there against Bama, which obviously was frustrating. That one would have put it back to 1 possession. We do an onside kick. Let's see what happens. But, man, even Oklahoma having the best kicker in the country, he misses 2 in the game against Bama. The Ohio State kicker, I don't see how he's even getting back to campus. He's going to be told, or he's going to be let go. He is definitely not the answer for them. He's missed critical field goals against Indiana in the Big Ten championship game. And then last night, he misses more field goals. So Ohio State will definitely have a new kicker for next season. And then you see today, both teams have missed field goals. So if you're Tech, you've had 4 turnovers. You've missed a field goal. I mean, that is nothing but a recipe for failure. And that's exactly what's happening. Been a rough day if you're a Texas Tech fan. Rough day. This game here is about over. I'll probably take about a 5-10 minute break. Come back down, and then we'll get into the Alabama-Indiana game. That's the one that I'm most excited for. How can Indiana compare and match up against Alabama, against their size and physicality? And Bama's healthy, y'all. Bama is healthy, ready to go. Well, let's get back to the game. All right, Tech with the ball. 4:45 to go. Pass out for about 5-6 yards. Second and down for Tech. Trying to find anything to try to get back in this game as soon as they can. 4.5 minutes to go. Second and 4. Tech from their own 24-yard line. Tech back, looking to throw. Pass, first down. Tech is going to have to go farther down. They can't be doing this short yard pass game. That's just not going to work. They don't have enough time for that. Not when you're down 16-0. That's a crazy stat. Tech averages over 480 yards of offense a game, and they barely have over 200 and are being shut out. Quarterback back for Texas Tech looking to go deep. Throws into double coverage. Incomplete. Tech looking for a flag. I don't think so. Just good defense. Quarterback there looking to just make a play. At this point, you got to be aggressive. And if that means double coverage, you just got to hope that your guy can go up and find a way to catch it and bring it down. So Tech looking for any way to get any kind of play here. Put some points on the board. Second and 10, 3:37 to go in the game. Tech back looking to throw. Nobody home. Going to be 3rd and 10. .333 to go in the game. Both teams have all their timeouts, so this could be a long 3.5 minutes. For sure. All right, 3rd and 10 for Tech. Quarterback's looking back, looking to throw. Going to run the ball. Gets about 5 yards. Out to about their own 35. Could be 4th and 5 for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. 3:18 and counting. 4th and 4. Quarterback looking to throw, and again, wow. What a play by the Oregon defense. Pressure. Quarterback for Texas Tech never saw him coming and just got creamed. And that, my friends, will be the ball game. All day long, Texas Tech has had no answer for the Oregon defense and pressure from the end. And, man, what a play. Pressure off the end and just creamed this quarterback. Quarterback didn't see it coming, had no time to react. Oregon's going to have it. With 3:10 to go, 16-0. Their 4th sack of the day. Oregon's just going to sit here and run the ball 3 times, use the clock. Tech's going to use their timeouts. What a performance by the Oregon Ducks. Wow. Hand off to the running back. Just running over some of these Tech defenders. Going to be 2nd and short for the Oregon Ducks. Great defense all day. Great defense all day by these guys. Oregon has 4 takeaways today, the most since 2023, ironically at Texas Tech. Great day for the Oregon defense for sure. So we have 2nd and 4, 16-0 Oregon. They have the ball, just using clock, forcing Tech to use up all their timeouts. What a performance. Dominant performance. Once again, like I've said, coming into this game, Texas Tech had never seen anybody like Oregon. With their weak conference coming from the Big 12, and as an OU fan, we obviously know how weak the Big 12 is. Tech is just overmatched in multiple ways, and it shows. It's from start to finish dominance by the Oregon Ducks. Dominance. Tech has had no answers. Now, they couldn't get out of their way, having 4 turnovers, missing field goals. I mean, Tech just all day, they cannot get out of their own way, and it's just been killing them. So we have 1st and 10 for Oregon, 2:20 to go. Tech's not going to use their timeouts. They're just going to let the clock run down. Oregon snaps the ball, hand off to the running back. Oregon down to about the 17-yard line. Going to the 2-minute warning here. So with 1:58 to go in the game, you have Oregon up 16-0. What a performance by Oregon today. They look dominant against a Texas Tech team that, on paper, you know, one of the top offenses in the country. Everybody was praising their defense. I didn't feel that way. Playing in the Big 12, who does you really play? BYU's not that great. Yeah, they look dominant all year long, which is great. But going up against competition like Oregon and any other team in the playoff besides the group of 5, Tech is just overpowered, man. So to me, all this is, Tech is the new Oklahoma. Oklahoma would look great. They would dominate the Big 12. And then when they played the SEC or anybody else outside the Big 12 for the most part, OU would have no answers. They were overmatched. Size, strength, physicality. And that's exactly what Texas Tech is showing here. The exact same thing. Just different jersey. What a way to start the new day or to start the new year. It's going to be a great day of college football. Next up, we have Indiana and Alabama. I don't think it'll be to this extreme like what we're seeing here, but I think Bama's going to dominate, win by 2 touchdowns. I'm not at double digits. My score prediction is 24-10 Bama. I think Alabama is just way from strength. They're fully healthy, it seems like, for the most part. The physicality, just the size. I don't think Indiana is ready for this. I know they beat Ohio State. Ohio State got exposed. Ohio State was not as good as what everybody thought they were. Their win against Oregon was impressive, especially up there in Eugene. But I think for today's game, Oklahoma's overmatched. I think for Indiana to win, they're going to have to get turnovers. Bama's going to have to get in their own way, just like what Tech has done today with their 4 turnovers. Missing field goals, just mistake after mistake after mistake. I just don't see it. I think Bama's going to dominate that game. And then in the last game, you have Ole Miss and Georgia. If Lane Kiffin was coaching, I'd say, hey, it could be a toss-up. Who knows what's going to happen? But with all that chaos and him going to LSU, and Kirby's one of the best in the business. He's going to have Georgia ready to play. I think Georgia's going to win by at least, again, double digits. And I think that's going to set up a Oregon, Alabama on the top side of the bracket. And then you're going to have Miami and Georgia in the Fiesta Bowl on the bottom side of the bracket. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. Do y'all agree? I agree, Senior Cowboy. Absolutely. I think Joey McGuire is a good coach. And I think he's going to be like Lincoln Riley, with all their donors and their boosters and all the money. They're going to dominate the Big 12, just like Oklahoma. It's the same thing, just different jersey. But we got a flag here. 16 to go, Oregon. Great performance by them. Tech can get out of their own way. Tech better get back to the drawing board. They better learn to get some size, some physicality. Way overmassed in its show. This is what everybody has said. Tech looks great in the Big 12, but they're not going to be able to compete with the SEC or even the Big 10. Tech here with the unsportsmanlike conduct. They're frustrated, getting embarrassed on national TV. They couldn't get out of their own way. Oregon's going to have it first and goal. Minute 54. Tech has one timeout. There ain't no point in using it. Oregon's just going to run out the clock here, get a dub, and wait for the winner of Indiana, Alabama. Got to fix the slide over here after the game. I cover them up. It's just too much, the glare. So as you can see right there. So I'll fix that here in just 1 second. If we go to a commercial, go up there and fix that real quick. But here we go, first and goal. 1:54 to go in the game. Tech just one timeout. I don't see him using it here. There's no point. Come on, let's get going. Snap. Oregon with the toss to the running back. No gain. Second and goal from the 8 for Oregon. Senior Cowboy, I hope so, man. He'd be a great addition. A great addition. The only thing, though, man, with Texas Tech, right now with their boosters, and they're just desperate to be relevant in college football, I don't know if Oklahoma can pay the money that Tech's going to pay for some of these players. Like Cam Coleman, that's a whole nother story. You know what I mean? And I think OU is definitely going to be in the running for that. I don't know that we're going to get Cam Coleman, but I think we're going to be in the running for sure. But even with Cam Coleman, Tech is going to be willing to pay stupid money. So for Brewster, is it going to be about money, or is it going to be about development, looking to get to the NFL? Like, what are his priorities? You know what I mean? Obviously, OU would take care of him and give him good money, not Texas Tech money. But if it's me and if I'm a player, what Tech can offer right now versus what he can get, at Oklahoma and then go to the NFL, what Tech's going to give him is pennies, man. You know what I mean? So Oregon with the snap down to about the 3-yard line. It's going to be third and goal, minute 44 to go. Tech did use that timeout. So now they're out. So now they're out of timeouts. Minute and a half to go. Should be another run here. If Oregon doesn't score, Oregon should just take a knee at this point, and let's just get this over with. But we'll see. I agree, Senior Cowboy. Got to get, if I know Brandon Drum and Parker Thune on their show, the OU Insider Show, they were talking about boosters and how they told Nagy, hey, if you need more money to get some certain players that might enter the transfer portal, we got you. We're willing to give more money. So I think the hire of Nagy was phenomenal. That was one of the best hires Oklahoma has ever done because he sees the big picture from the wide future picture here. You know what I mean? So, with his success that he's had with the Senior Bowl game or the I can't think what it's called, the senior game with the invites and him seeing recruits, and he knows what it takes to get to the NFL. You know, Brewster, other players that are in the portal, I hope that they see that, yeah, another school can give you money, but you can come to Oklahoma and get developed and go make a lot more money in the NFL. But I do think are boosters as desperate as Texas Tech? No, I don't think they're that desperate, but I think we're headed in the right direction. I think they see what the success we've had, the wins that we got, and with Nagy there, and knows what it's going to take, you know, to become a Georgia and Ohio State and be dominant and playing for a title year in, year out. I think they finally see the big picture, and so now they're making steps to get us to where we need to be, to get to the promised land. But I don't think we're as desperate as Texas Tech yet. But I think our boosters, it's just amazing, you know, what wins will do for a program, for boosters, for everybody. Show us that, you know, you can win, and we're going to, you know, offer you more money and keep this thing going. 4th and goal, Oregon scores a touchdown. 22-0, shutout. Did y'all think we would have a shutout here? First shutout of this year's playoffs. And I don't think we didn't have any shutouts last year, did we? I'm trying to think back. I don't think we did. Great day for the Oregon Ducks and their program. Dominant, both sides of the ball. They look good. To go back to the hotel. Watch the Bama game and Indiana game, see who they're going to get. Extra point, up and good. Oregon up 23-0. So I'm excited. Texas Tech does suck. Absolutely. Besides playing in the Big 12, and it just shows you also you can't, kind of like in the Super Bowl, or I think more in the Major League Baseball, now the Dodgers have done it recently, but before the last couple of years, it's really hard to even go and buy a championship, no matter what sport it is. It's been done, but it's hard. So I think this shows, hey, we can bring in all, you know, we can pay the most money and bring in all these studs from all over the country, but it's not a guarantee of anything. It doesn't guarantee you anything at all. I think you have to build from the high school ranks. The portal wasn't built to bring in, you know, 20 players every year, year in, year out. Like that's not what it was for. It was meant to fill holes, like what Oklahoma's doing. You know, Oklahoma, we've had a lot of people decide to enter the portal, but we don't have to go and get 25 players and bring in a whole new offense or a whole new defense. Like, we don't have to do that. And Tech, I mean, that's all Tech is doing. Just like in the recruiting, they're just trying to buy the players, but that's great and all. You're going to get money up front, but wouldn't you rather go somewhere that's going to give you less money but get developed and then go to the NFL? That's what I would think. But we'll see. We got 10 seconds left here to go. Tech back, they just hand it off to the running back. Gets about 9 yards, and that's going to be the ball game, guys. What a way to start the day. Oregon's going to win in a shutout, 23-0, and await the winner of Indiana, Alabama. All right, so next game up, we're going to have Alabama and Indiana. Should be a good one. I think Bama's going to dominate for sure. But guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here for a little bit, and I'll come back on. I was just going to do a straight live stream all the way through, but I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break. But I will start another live stream here soon for the Bama and Indiana game. But I want to say thank you, Sooner Cowboy. Thank you for being here. I appreciate talking to you. I see you a lot on the other OU shows. I know you're pretty active, so thank you for coming in here. Thank you for everybody that's here. I appreciate y'all. If you haven't, like the video, subscribe. I love doing OU content, football, softball. May do a little bit of basketball, but we'll see. But thank you. I want to appreciate y'all being here with me. You know, just watching the great game of college football. So again, thank you. And I will see y'all here in about 30 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so. And let's watch Alabama, Indiana and see what happens there. So again, thank you. And I will see y'all here pretty soon. Boomer.